Bootstrappers. This is Ryan Nickel coming at you with another day in the life of a bootstrap real estate investor. You know, what does it mean to bootstrap? Well, to me, bootstrap means I'm starting from scratch. I don't have a whole lot of funds. I might have a whole lot of time, but not a whole lot of money. And so I'm bootstrapping this thing. I'm going from one deal to the next, and I'm rolling my profits as much as I possibly can spare, because I need the money, into the next deal or marketing opportunity or whatever I have, which is also very little. So bootstrap means that with very little money, as far as marketing goes, I'm able to go out and secure a deal. So, and there'll be more to come about, specifically what bootstrap is and how you can also bootstrap. I'm in the process of creating a training that'll go through basically what I'm doing, so that when I started this, I got very first transaction, and then had about 6 months of lull trying to figure out how to do this again. Then I got another couple transactions, and then another 3 or 4 months of no income, and so I had these these peaks and these valleys, and I was trying to shortcut that process. And so I was trying all these different things and methods, and for me, it's all about bootstrapping is about the fastest path to cash. How can I get to money in the fastest, most efficient way possible and consistently, so that I can continue to scale to grow my business? And so that's what I'll be teaching on as far as bootstrapping goes. I'm out walking around this morning. I just did my daily attack, and I finished up my quad. And if you're not familiar with what those are, you can check out the other videos in this series. I don't exactly know which numbers they are, but I forgot to bring my sunglasses, so I won't be squinting a bit. So today's episode is about trusting yourself, and what exactly that means. So recently I came across a book that I've never heard of it before. I've never even heard of the author before, but I am so intrigued that I have just become completely absorbed. I've read this book several times in the last not even a week yet. I've read the book twice, and I went out and I've got all of her other books. Her name is Florence. I can't remember her name. I think her second name, her middle name is Florence. It's Florence Scovel Shinn or something like that, or Scovel Shinn or something. I don't know. She died like in 1940, and she wrote a bunch of books. It's kind of along the lines with like As a Man Thinketh or Think and Grow Rich. But it's very, very much from a Christian perspective, and she's very biblical in that approach. And I really like that. I really appreciate that understanding and how she ties things together. But anyway, I've been reading this book, and it's opened my mind to, one, my thoughts, and two, what my possibilities are. My thoughts have been negative as of late, and I believe that as I think is what I'm going to have manifest. One of the things I read about is I believe I believe in God, and I believe in the Bible. I lost connection there. All right, so yeah, I believe in God, and I believe in the Bible, and one of the scriptures is that I believe in is faith. That faith is a substance of things that are not seen but are hoped for. And she says that you take out faith and you just say it's the expectation, and whatever your expectation is what you're going to get. So your expectation is what you can't see, but you're hoping for it. And I was like, man, that's so true. If my expectation is fear-based, if I'm afraid that something's going to happen, guess what my expectation is going to be? I'm going to manifest that fear, that expectation in my life. If I'm expecting to lose money, if I'm expecting to have a deal not go through, if I'm expecting someone to reject my offer, well, guess what? Then that could happen. That's what I'm expecting. That's what I'm manifesting. That's what I'm attracting to me. And I'm not trying to get into like this whole law of attraction thing and just sit on the couch and manifest things, because it doesn't happen that way. You have to actually work. Because the same token, faith without works is dead. So you just can't expect things. You can't have expectation without the work that goes behind it. And last night I had the thought. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do a course on this. I'm not going to charge for it. Actually, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to offer it just as a way to give back and free. I might charge for it in the future, but right now it's twofold. Two reasons why I'm going to charge for it, or not going to charge for it. That I want to do it is, one, I want to learn this and perfect it. I feel like that it's changed the course of my business and my trajectory, and that the gift of the teacher is to learn more as he teaches. And so for me, I want to teach. I want to be able to teach this stuff and really refine it and learn it and deepen it and give me a reason to do it, because I'm sharing it with others. That's the first reason. And two, I feel like it'll benefit anyone that has a desire to learn it. And what I'm going to call it is, I'm going to call it the intuitive real estate investor, because it's all about trusting your intuition. learning to tap into that intuition and that gut feeling that tells you what to do and how to do it. Now I've had, you can call it God, you can call it, universal consciousness, or you can just call it a voice or whatever it is. I've had that experience several times in my life where I know it's something beyond myself, where I've received guidance. I've received clear and distinct voice in my mind or in my heart, and deep in my soul, that I know this is something that I have to do, because it was something that came not from within myself, but it came from that external realm, whatever you want to call it. We'll just, for lack of a better term, we'll just call it the voice. And so I've had this voice speak to me on many occasions and give me direction on what I should do. And that's exactly what happened to me this morning. Except this is the first time that it hasn't been as clear. In the past, it's been crystal clear. And I'm learning, I'm like, you know what, I want to do this course, and I want to talk about how to be an intuitive real estate investor, how to trust my intuition. And I believe that every single day the voice is speaking to us, whether we hear it or not, whether we choose to hear it or not, whether we choose to obey it or not. There's insights and inspiration that's coming to us, and that whether we listen, that's a whole different story. And so yesterday I had the impression that this is what I want to do. I want to create a virtual training called the Intuitive Real Estate Investor, where we learn to trust our intuition and receive guidance. And so yesterday I was sitting there and I was pondering. Just, I meditate daily. And meditation can just be, sitting quietly, just allowing myself to think. Or I actually, one thing I do is I plan my morning. Every day about 8:45, I'll sit down and I'll look at my calendar and I plan out my day. And I allow for inspiration to come, like, oh, do this instead, or continue this course, or do this, or you forgot about this thing, do this. And then at the end of the day, about 4:45, before I quit, I write down, what experiences I had, what did I learn, lessons learned, and things like that. And it allows for this revelation, this revelatory process to happen, where I'm receiving inspiration, and I'm like, oh, you know what, and I start to see things that I didn't see before, as I plan at the beginning, and as I reflect at the end of my day. And so, and that's just, one of the several things that I do in my business. And so that's something I want to share and to teach and to invite others to follow if they feel so inclined. And yesterday, I have a gentleman that has done a lease option with me, and I've inserted myself, the backstory, I've inserted myself into many different legal matters. One of them was, I'm going through 2 evictions right now. I'm having another house foreclosed upon that I sold to somebody else, and long story short, I gave up control. It's the only deal that I've ever done this on. So it'll be the last deal I ever do that on. I gave up control, and he's not made any of the payments. And so that house is being foreclosed upon, and I've made some promises to the original seller who I had this home to that I will live up to. And hey, little guy, scared the hell out of me. It's a dog. It's a little puppy. Let me see if I can. Anyway, this dog just scared me as I'm walking. My heart's not racing. And so, yeah, so I've made some promises. This guy's credit is trashed now. And so this other guy, rather than me foreclosing on him, I'm just going to wait for the bank to foreclose, because I don't have enough time to foreclose. I'll have to do a judicial, and this non-judicial, and non-judicial are faster. So I'll just be wasting more money trying to foreclose on him, get it back before the other bank takes it. And at this point, I'll probably be into about $25,000, and it's just not worth it. So I've made the commitment to this man. I was like, look, I'm sorry. This is totally my fault. I gave up control, and I should have never done that. But I did sell the property, and I no longer own it. And he realizes this, but he's pissed and all this stuff. But anyway, I told him that I would clean up his credit and his ex-wife's credit in the process, because now they're going to have a foreclosure on their record when they thought that they had sold it to me and that none of this would ever happen. But anyway, I've also inserted myself into another lawsuit. There's a property that I wanted to buy, and I'm into this one about $4,000 right now. I have the potential to make, if I win the lawsuit, I have the potential to make, hey, what's up, Walter? I have the potential to make between $40,000 and $45,000. We'll call it $40,000, be conservative. So right now I'm into it for 4, have the potential to make 40,000. But today, this morning, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I go and I work out. I do CrossFit style type workouts, and I do that at 5 a.m. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I go to the gym and I swim. I swim anywhere between 30 and 40 laps. And then sometimes it's just distance swimming, sometimes it's straight up sprints. But I swim, and then I jump into the sauna, and then I jump into the ice bath, and then I, shower and go home. Today the pool was not there. The pool, they're doing some deep maintenance and cleaning and things like that, so they've drained the pool. I didn't know this, so I'm getting there, I'm like, I got all this free time. So I decided to jump in the ice bath, and then I jumped into the sauna. And when I was in the sauna, I sit there, and it's just me and my thoughts, and I sit there and I'm thinking about things. And today the thought came to withdraw from this lawsuit. I'm like, are you kidding me? If I withdraw, I'm out $4,000. If I push through, I can make $40,000. And so I started to doubt myself, and I'm starting to go, okay, is this just fear speaking? Is this just fear telling me that, a lot of unknowns, I'm going to displace this person, she's going to be homeless, she's already cried and, gave me this sob story about how everyone in her family has been mistreating her, and they're selling this property out from under her, and she has nowhere to go, and all this story. And I'm like, well, I'm running like this movie in my head. I'm like, well, what happens if I do push through and I do make this money, but then she gets all crazy and commits suicide because someone stole her house, because she's been living there since 1974. Again, I'm playing the story out in my mind. I'm like, oh man, she commits suicide or something goes crazy, and then I have this on my conscience that I did this to her and all this stuff, and I'm like, oh man, dude, I gotta one, stop this, and then two, I need to trust myself. Okay, you know what? I believe that this was, again, it was not as crystal clear as before, but it was an idea that inserted itself that I did not invite. I just was sitting there thinking and pondering about things that I needed to do today, which was to go and to file my intervention into this lawsuit, because I went there yesterday twice. Both times I was turned away. The first time, I was missing a document. The second time, I had the wrong contract, because I had two contracts on this property. The first one that we backed out on, and the second one that we still have that's in force. And so both times I go to the courthouse to file this, and I'm like, dang it. So today I'm going to go file again, and I got all the paperwork right this time, and I'm going to go do this. But I've had this thought for me to just back away, just walk away. I'll be out $4,000 in legal fees, and that's okay. And it's interesting because the more I've battled with this, I've written down my thoughts, I've pros and cons and all this stuff. Every time I go to pursue the actual me filing and moving forward and making this money, I feel this heaviness in my chest, and kind of like a stupor of thought, kind of it's the wrong thing to do. And I'm like, man. And then every time I make the decision, no, you know what? I'm not going to do this. I feel lighter. I feel like a peace in my chest and my heart that this is the right thing to do. So today, I'm going to trust that intuition, that it's right, it's wiser than me, it knows more than me, and I'm going to be obedient. And I'm going to withdraw my petition. I actually didn't even have a petition with the court. It never got filed. I'm just going to call the owner today and let him know that I don't plan on pursuing this anymore. And I'll just, I've given him money. I've given him about $1,200. I got about $2,800 in legal fees. So that's where the $4,000 comes into play. And I have another couple $1,000s in legal fees that would have come out of this whole situation. But again, going to go ahead and trust myself, trust my intuition, focus myself to go buy some more houses, free up myself energetically so I can do that. And that's just what I will be doing. It's not easy. Like I said, I fought this several times of what I want to do, but this is what I'm going to do. And I'm also going to open up a course on it as far as being able to trust yourself to become more of an intuitive real estate investor. That course will be coming here in the next little bit. It'll be, like I said, absolutely no cost whatsoever. It's going to be no cost to you because, one, I want to benefit from teaching it, and two, I think that it's something that if you're so inclined to learn from, that it will definitely benefit you. You'll be making decisions that you never thought you would make, but in the end, they're the right decisions, and they'll lead you to greater abundance and prosperity. So anyway, I'm Ryan Nickel, and this is a day in the life of a bootstrap real estate investor. And one of the things that bootstrappers do is they trust their intuition, because they don't got a whole lot of money, so they got to trust that God will provide. All right, I'm Ryan Nickel signing out.